The first light of dawn was the color of cold honey, spilling over the stone wall and pooling in the dew-heavy grass of Aara's garden. She was already there, knees pressed into the damp earth, her hands working with a quiet, methodical rhythm. To anyone watching, it was a picture of serenity. But inside Aara, a familiar storm was brewing, a tightness in her chest, a restless buzz in her mind. Yesterday's joy at a finished project had evaporated overnight, replaced by a gray fog of doubt about the next one. The emotional weather had shifted, and as it always did, her eyes drifted to the old oak at the garden's edge, taut it was her touchstone. In high summer, it was a cathedral of green, humming with life. In autumn, it was a blaze of defiant gold. Now, in early spring, it stood stark and skeletal, yet each twig was tipped with the faintest, most hopeful red bud. The oak knew seasons. It knew how to be bare, how to wait, how to burst forth. She thought of the oak's roots, unseen, spreading wide and deep, gripping the bedrock. Her own roots felt shallow, easily shaken. The goal wasn't to stop the wind, she realized. The goal was to learn how to bend with it, to trust the structure beneath you wouldn't snap. From that day, her gardening changed. It became less about the display and more about the foundation. She began the unglamorous work of building resilience. When the fog of anxiety rolled in, she didn't curse it. She would go to the oak, place a palm on its rough bark, and simply breathe, feeling the solid, ancient life beneath her hand. It was an anchor. She started to keep a small journal, not of happy moments, but of small, sturdy truths. I made a good cup of tea. I finished the chapter. I listened, really listened, to a friend. These were her root hairs, drawing sustenance from simple, reliable things. The storms still came. A project failed spectacularly. A friendship faded. The old tightness returned, the urge to crumble. But this time, Aara went to her roots. She walked in the quiet woods. She made soup, the chopping of vegetables a meditative rhythm. She wrote her small truths. She didn't feel happy, but she felt held. The grief was a heavy rain, but it fell on soil that could now absorb it, not just wash away in the flood. One evening, a gale whipped through the valley. Aara stood at her window, watching the oak. It danced a wild, groaning dance, branches flailing against a bruised purple sky. Leaves, still new and tender, were ripped away and sent spinning into the twilight. It was a violent, beautiful spectacle. Her heart beat fast, but not with panic, not with awe. In the calm, sun-drenched morning after, the garden was littered with twigs and leaves. The oak stood, looking a little ragged, but profoundly upright. Sunlight dappled its remaining leaves, and the air smelled clean and electric. Aara walked out into the wreckage. She felt a profound quiet within herself. Not the absence of feeling, but the presence of a deep, steady hum. It was the sound of roots in the dark, holding fast. She wasn't happy in that moment. She was something better. She was at peace. The weather would change again, as it must. But she was no longer a leaf, tossed by every breeze. She was becoming the tree, learning how to be bare, how to wait, and knowing, with a certainty that sank into her bones, that she would always find the strength to bud again.